Tessa from Studio Jane, and I'm teaming up with KidMadeModern to show you how to decorate some wooden eggs using the adorable egg painting party kit. We're going to make some cute creatures and show you some fun techniques to paint each egg and make them all unique. To paint our eggs today, we'll be using our egg painting party kit, which includes our paint, sequins, glitter, googly eyes, pom-poms, paintbrushes, and glue. In addition to our kit, we'll also be using painter's tape, scissors, a hot glue gun, a black marker, and construction paper. For our series of painted eggs today, we are going to be doing a different technique or style for each of our 6 different wooden eggs. So since we're going to make a couple that look like animals, we're going to make a bunny and a unicorn, as well as a plaid egg and a striped egg. We're going to do a little ombre, so we'll fade color across the whole egg. But to do that first, we're going to paint a base color on most of them to get started. So to do our first one, I am going to make this egg plaid, and to start I'm going to paint it this fun pink color. These being wooden eggs, don't have to paint them too opaque if you don't want to. The wood grain showing through is really nice. Once your base color is complete, we'll start painting stripes. We'll start from the bottom of the egg, rounding the top and meeting on the other end. We'll do this multiple times so that our stripes overlap and create a plaid pattern. So to add a second stripe, we're going to take some white paint and follow the same technique, but from the other end. So we're going to start on one side here and drag our brush all the way up to the top. And then we're going to take our paint and overlap the yellow stripe we already painted, and then carry that all the way over to the other side. Let that stripe dry, and then we'll be able to add in some more. For our next line to create our plaid, we're going to take an orange color and we're going to paint a horizontal line. So we're going to take our paint, starting in the middle of our egg, and draw a line all the way around the middle of it. And as we build our lines, we are overlapping them, but it's nice to not have them too thick of paint so you can still see remnants of the color beneath to create this beautiful plaid. So we're going to let that orange stripe dry, and then we'll continue adding more to our pattern. So I'm going to take some more green to tie into our green stripe that we already made. And starting at the bottom, using just the tip of my paintbrush, I'm going to do another thin stripe. And we're following a different line of the egg so that these vertical lines will also overlap now. And then as soon as this line dries, we're going to add our final stripe to complete our adorable plaid egg. And then we have completed our plaid design on our cute Easter egg. The next base color we are going to do is a blue. We're going to make a little blue bunny, so I'm going to go ahead and paint this blue to start. So while our blue egg is drying, I'm going to draw some little bunny ears. And you can make them out of any different material that you might want. I'm just using some blue construction paper. And to draw the bunny ears is just a long U. I'm purposely drawing them a little bit longer on the bottom so that we can fold them over to attach them to our egg. So we're going to go ahead and cut these out. So now we have two long little bunny ears. And then to add to that, we're going to take some light pink construction paper here and draw a skinnier version of this that can lay inside to be the little pink inside of the bunny's ear. So I'm just going to make them a little bit smaller. And that'll be perfect. And we'll go ahead and cut these out as well. So lay them on top to see how thin I need to make them. I'm going to go ahead and trim this down a little bit more. And once that fits in there nicely, we've got one bunny ear ready to assemble. So now that we have our bunny ear layers ready to go, I'm just going to take a little bit of our white craft glue here and flip over my pink portions and just take a little bit of white glue on the back. And we're going to glue them toward the top portion of our bunny ear, leaving a border of blue around and an extra long portion underneath in order to attach it to our egg. And do the same thing here, just taking a little bit of my glue, just put a little bit here on my finger. I'm going to place it right on top. Now we're going to go ahead and set these aside so they can dry. Now that our blue egg is dry, we are going to go ahead and attach some fun little details to make it look like our bunny. So I'm going to take one of our little mini pom-poms here, and with a little bit of hot glue, I'm just going to put this pom-pom on the back to be its little tail. You can also use a glue dot for this portion. So now we have a little cottontail on the back, and then we'll be able to attach our ears. So the ears that we previously made, we are going to just go ahead and bend them toward the bottom, leaving a similar amount of space all the way around the pink inner portion. And just create a little crease at the bottom. This will create a little tab that we're going to be able to use to glue it onto our bunny. And then I'm just going to take a little bit of hot glue again onto the tab that we just folded. Knowing where my cottontail is, that is the back, I'm just going to go ahead and press my hot glue tab into the back of the egg, and then do the same with the second. So now we have some little ears and a little tail. You can simply leave him as a simple Easter bunny, or we can add some googly eyes or draw a cute little face. So we're going to go ahead and pick out a couple of googly eyes here. There's some little yellow ones. There's a green one. go ahead and pick out a couple of googly eyes here that match, and then we will take our hot glue again and just put a tiny bit on the back and press our googly eyes right into our egg. Lastly, for our bunny here, we are going to take a little bit of paint, whatever color you might want. I'm going to take a little bit of this pink, and we're just going to draw a couple whiskers. And then with a little bit of white paint, we'll just paint a little nose. And we have a cute little bunny with a little pink cotton tail, ready for Easter. For this next egg, we are going to be using a color blocking technique, and what we're going to do is take some painter's tape and cut this down into thinner strips. So since our surface of our egg is not very big, we want to have thinner strips of tape so it doesn't take up so much room. And I'm just going to cut these into thin 1/4 inch pieces of tape, and I'm just cutting them freehand. You can measure this out as well, but we want to try to keep them about the same width all the way down. So we'll take our first little strip we just cut here, and we're going to start by taping it along the bottom and then pressing firmly to create a nice seal all the way across our egg. And I'm just going to tear off any extra bits so it doesn't go back onto the surface. And at the top where your egg curves, you might just want to press firmly using my nail here just to get any little creases of my tape out. This way, as we paint, we'll be able to paint over our tape, and then when we remove it, there won't be any paint where our tape is. All right, so we'll do the same thing, cutting our tape down again. And then we can take our tape. I'm going to start it along the other piece of tape and just create as many patterns as you might want. So by starting and finishing in the same tape lines, that way we have nice clean lines when we remove them. And you can just take your tape in as many different directions as you want to create all these different shapes that then as we paint over them will be revealed. Once you've created a pattern using your tape in as many ways as you want, then we're just going to take our paintbrushes, and you can pick any colors you want. You can do as many as you want, and we're just going to paint in each of these shapes, overlapping the tape just enough that when we remove the tape, we'll have nice clean paint lines. And I'm going to take this purple paint and a couple different shapes that I've created. And then I'm just going to switch colors, and you can use as many different colors as you want. If you want every shape to be a different shade, or you can paint the whole egg one color and just let the wood grain show through when you remove the tape. There's no wrong way to do this technique. And then I'm just going to go ahead and let that dry for a moment before we remove the tape. And now that all of our paint is dry on our color blocked egg, we are going to start removing the tape. Just going to peel it up. And as we remove the tape, we'll reveal all the shapes we made and our wood grain showing through. To create a beautiful pattern. We have this fun color blocked egg, and you can easily go back in to add more colors or glitter or sequins in between. We have a fun Easter egg full of color. So our first step in making our unicorn is just to paint your egg a solid color. And we're going to make a yellow unicorn. So we finished painting that. And from there, we're going to go ahead and make some ears. And what sets every unicorn apart is a cute horn. So to make our unicorn ears, I'm going to paint some of my construction paper yellow to be the same exact shade as our egg. So this is an easy way to have something match if you don't have the paper that you need. Just paint it. Now that our yellow paint on our construction paper has dried, we are going to just draw some ears and unicorn ears, just drawing them kind of like a curved triangle. You can make them as big or as small as you want. And then we're just going to go ahead and cut these out. And then we're going to flip these over and paint the back sides yellow as well. We'll let our ears continue to dry for a moment, and then we'll be ready to start assembling our unicorn egg. And now that our unicorn ears are dry, we are just going to take a little bit of paint here and just paint a little bit in the middle to create the inner portion of the ear. And just freehand painting a little triangle shape. And we will let those dry, and then we'll be ready to assemble. Our ears are drying, we're going to make our unicorn horn. And we are just going to draw a circle. It doesn't have to be perfect. We want it to be about 1.5 to 2 inches. And you can make this as big or as small, depending on how big you want your unicorn horn to be. So we're just going to cut out our circle. Now that we have a circle cut out of our construction paper, we are going to roll it into a horn shape. So we want our horn to be at the top, the point. So we're going to start to bend. And it's okay if it folds a little bit as you roll your paper. It'll all look smooth once we're done. So we're going to start rolling it and rolling it tighter on one end to create a point. So you roll it up tightly. We have a point on one end and it's more open on the other. We're just going to take our hot glue and add a little bit in and then roll it up tight. And then taking some pink glitter to make our horn stand out, I'm just going to take our white glue and pour some on, and then I'm just going to use my finger or a paintbrush to paint the glue on the whole horn. So now that we have put glue on our entire horn here, we're just going to take our glitter and shake it to cover our horn. Just went ahead and rolled it in the remaining glitter to make sure our point and every portion of it is covered. And we have our glitter horn ready for our unicorn. So we're going to go ahead and set that aside to let it dry, and then we'll be able to assemble. Now that all of our elements are dry for our unicorn, we are ready to start assembling. So I pulled out some little flowers and butterfly sequins, as well as some pom-poms, all from our Easter egg painting party kit. And we are going to use those to make our unicorn feel special for the Easter holiday. So I'm going to take our little ears here, and we're just going to bend at the bottom like we did with the bunny ears to create a little fold and a tab at the bottom. And then using our hot glue gun, we are going to take our glue and kind of right in the middle and at the top, we're going to start by adding some glue and putting our unicorn horn directly in it. And now that our unicorn horn is on, we're going to take our ears and place them on either side. Now we have our horn and our ears on. We are going to take a couple little flowers here, and with our sequins, just going to bend them slightly, put a little fold in a couple of them so that they will sit up on a unicorn's head. And then I'm just going to take a little bit of glue kind of right in front of the ears and add in a couple flowers. Take another color here from our bowl of sequins, and we'll add another one right in front of the horn. We have a little flower crown here, and I'm just going to take a little bit more of our hot glue and then take a couple of our tiny pom-poms to filter those in and add a center to our flowers. And now we have an adorable unicorn horn with flower crown ready for spring. And then we're just going to take a marker and add in some cute little eyes on our unicorn. So using a marker here, I'm just going to add a couple little drawn on marks and some little eyelashes. And we have a finished little unicorn ready for Easter. For this egg, we're going to be using painter's tape to create vertical stripes. So I'm going to take my tape and we're going to start at the bottom and going directly over the top of our egg. and back down. And then we're going to take another piece of tape and starting at the top where we want to create a little point, we are going to take our tape, leaving about 1/3 of this half open. And then we're going to go ahead and paint directly in here, and then we're going to do the same technique all the way around the egg to create perfect stripes. And then we're going to remove the tape that we put layered on top, not the one in the center. Remove this one. And we have a nice clean line there. And we're going to let that dry before we add in some more tape to paint our next stripe. So we follow the same technique to paint another stripe, and then since this has a perfect line to follow and our middle tape is still on, we're just going to add another color into our beautiful striped egg. Take a little bit of our yellow paint here and painting along our tape edge to give us a clean line and an easy measurement, and then just carefully going along the line that we previously painted. You can always tape both sides, even along the other painted edge, if you want to make sure to get a perfectly clean line. But since we have this one to follow, we're just going to go ahead and do that. Now that we have 3 stripes on one side, we're going to let that dry, and then we'll be able to paint the other side in a minute. Now that we have 3 stripes on one side, we're ready to paint the other side of our egg. So we're going to remove our tape. And we can see that we have half painted and half unpainted. And we're just going to follow the same steps. So I'm going to take some tape and lining up to the center where my other colors are all meeting, we're going to draw a line with our tape down the side. We're going to take some blue paint for this stripe and painting along our edge of our tape. And then we'll follow the line of our yellow paint carefully with our brush. And now that our blue paint is dry, we can remove our tape. And with a new piece of tape, we will be ready to add another stripe. And again, we're just going to line up at the top and then bring our tape all the way down and press firmly. For this stripe, we're going to do some orange. We're going to remove our tape from our last stripe, and we're left with one stripe left. And to finish this off, we're going to take some of our bright pink here, and we're just going to fill in following the lines that we've already created with our tape. And as soon as that dries, your rainbow striped egg is complete. For our ombre egg, we are going to create layers of paint in a fade of color. So for this one, we're going to be using white, yellow, and orange to have a faded color palette. So I'm going to start with orange at the bottom of my egg. And we're going to paint about 1/3 of the egg. And we don't have to worry about it being a perfect line where the orange stops. We're going to be taking our yellow paint next to blur that line. So now that we have about 1/3 of our egg painted orange, we're going to wash our brush and then immediately go into our yellow paint, and starting along the edge of the orange, we're going to add the yellow paint touching into the orange paint. And at first it just kind of looks like some layers of paint, and then we'll start to blend them together to create an ombre effect. So now, after washing and drying my brush, I'm just going to tap along the edge to blur the line with my dry brush. And this is just blending the two colors together so we don't have a harsh line of where one starts and the other ends, and they fade into each other. Taking our white paint to fill in the top portion. So now I'm going to do the same thing. I dried off my brush a little bit, and then we're just going to kind of tap and blend with our dry brush along the edge, just rotating our egg as we go. So I'm going to take my white paint here to paint the top of my egg while the middle is drying. And as you finish painting the top of your egg, you've now completed a beautiful ombre pattern. And now you have a beautiful set of 6 eggs full of cute details and fun painting techniques. I hope that you had just as much fun at our egg painting party as I did.
Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And for more fun inspiration and craft kits, check us out at KidMadeModern.com. Thanks, and I can't wait to see you all again for the next video.